Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Cooking with the Cripple. I'm your host, the Cripple, and I am back. I'm finally over with traveling and whatnot, and I just needed a couple of days of me time. So that's why it took me a little bit. Excuse me. Took me a little bit longer than I thought it would. But today we're going to be making something of my own creation, which I have dubbed surfin cheese. It is surf and turf plus mac and cheese. Hang with me. It's gonna have Alfredo sauce, uh, regular pasta sauce, and mac and cheese type stuff with it. Plus, um, shrimp and steak. So I've got 5 or 6 prawns or shrimp right here, and we're gonna start getting these ready to go. So what you want to do is, these are already cooked. I bought these from my fish buddy down the road. But get your thumb in there, and then just kind of peel the skin back, and then the legs, I have not been able to save the legs, so I'm just gonna make a rule of the legs will come off no matter what. If you're doing a good job, the legs will come off. And then once we get these peeled and ready to go, we're gonna just dice them, or not dice them. We're gonna cut them up into smaller pieces. So just give me a second. Come on. Oh, that's no bueno. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna do these really fast, and then we're gonna wash these because they do have spices on them, which is why my hands are all greasy. But I'll be right back. All right. So once these are cleaned off, and you make sure that they're actually deveined, we're gonna just slice them up into chunks like this. If it'll slice. And then maybe a little bit smaller. But you basically just want them bite size, so that way you can fit them throughout the recipe. Oh, and right now would be a very good time to start the steak, because the steak has to oh, that's right. But right now would be a very good time to start cooking the steak, but I have to degristle my steak, so I will be right back. Oh, and don't throw away the skin or the shell of the shrimp, because you can use those for some sort of broth. I can't remember, but I was looking at another channel, and you can actually use it for a broth, so to speak. So I'm actually gonna save these. I just have a takeout thing laying around, so I'm gonna save them, and I'm gonna degristle my steak, and I will be right back. All right, so my steak is now browning, and we're just kind of waiting right now for the juices to coat the bottom of the pan before we add in our sauces, boil a little water, and then add in the shrimp. Oh, and the cheese. We gotta add the cheese. You can't forget the cheese. Alright, so when I get to actually cooking the recipe, because right now I'm just doing the prep work, I'll move you guys over to the stove. My brain kind of just went out the window right there for a second. But I'm gonna move you guys to the stove, and then we'll get to cooking. Cause I gotta boil some water, and then oh, I've also got some. Cause I'm using the pasta sauce and the Alfredo sauce, so I'm trying to what's the word I'm looking for? I'm trying to boost both sides. So for the Alfredo sauce, I'm gonna add cheese, whether it's Swiss or no, it's mozzarella. But whether it's mozzarella or shredded cheese, and for the pasta sauce, the regular red sauce, I'm gonna have I have some chili kind of stuff that I made. And by made, I just mean I strained it and mixed it up and added some spice to it. So we're going to add that too. And then we're just kind of let everything... Excuse me. We're going to kind of let everything heat up. And then we're good. So I will see you guys in a few minutes. I'm going to let the water boil. And then I promise we'll get to cooking. Alright, so I've got the noodles for the mac and cheese. Well, for the surfin mac and cheese. No. Surfin cheese. There you go. But, I've got the noodles, draining. And I'm just gonna let them cool down before we start on the sauce. So, let it rest for 10, 15 minutes. And then, yeah. We'll be good to go. And then I'm going to move you guys over to the stove. And we'll be good. So I'll see you in a minute. Alright, so now as you can see, we've got everything put together. And all I really need to do is add in the, what's it called? The sauces and the cheese. And then we'll be golden. So I'm gonna let this heat up so that it's more malleable, because it's kind of stuck together. Which, I mean, yeah, if you let something cool down, it kind of sticks together. So that's my bad. But I'm gonna let this heat up and then clean this out. Oh, in the kitchen you always want to be doing something, whether it's cleaning, cooking, or seasoning of any sort. You always want to be doing something. You don't ever want to just be sitting around. Unless it's a dish where you have to watch it consistently. Like, let me think. Like a soup that you don't want to be too thick or too thin. But, I'm gonna let this heat up, and then I'm gonna add in the sauces. Alright, so as you can see, everything's added in, and, I'm just kind of letting everything heat up, and then we'll plate and taste test. Ooh, this would go good on a quesadilla, I think. I'm gonna go figure that out. I will be back in about, let's give it 10 more minutes. Alright, so this, and I don't say this because I'm a bad cook, but this actually looks really good. And I didn't think that the creaminess of the Alfredo sauce would meld really well with the pasta sauce. So here's the taste test, and yeah, always blow on your food, especially if you just took it off the oven. Oh my gosh, my mouth is watering. Oh my gosh. That is really good. Ooh. Really warm though. Oh. But, yeah. This is just something, well, not super simple, because it took like 6 different items. Which, 3 of them I already had. Granted, the only bad thing about this is I would use a different, what's it called? I would use a different pasta sauce, just because it smells alcoholic, and I personally do not like alcohol, because, I just don't like it. So, that's the only thing that I could say is just get a blander pasta sauce. Or if you like the smell of alcohol, because I don't know what I use, but it's good. It's good. Excuse me. But the steak is done perfectly. Granted, I only seared the outside and then let it heat up through the rest of this. But it came out really good, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this return to the episode. This has been Cooking with the Cripple. I've been your host, the Cripple, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.